we went with Hypnotic, the new Robert Rodriguez movie starring Ben Affleck. And for this, we're going to go to Todd first. Todd, tell us what you thought and what it's all about.
All right. Yeah, directed by Robert Rodriguez, El Rey, as his channel says he is. Yeah, Ben Affleck plays this guy named Danny Burke. He's a detective and his daughter goes missing, so he's in search of her while maneuvering through this mysterious government agency and some strange hypnotic techniques and cycle of death and conspiracies can't seem to get out of. Alice Braga is one of these hypnotics who's a person who can basically control the mind of other people kind of effortlessly. William Fichtner is another one of them, and he's sort of the man at the center of the conspiracy plot. Evidently, Robert Rodriguez wrote this in the early 2000s, which makes a lot of sense. Like, it probably would have still starred Ben Affleck at that point, like back in his paycheck days. It has that kind of insignificance and messiness of those kind of movies like The Butterfly Effect or Next or some sort of knockoff of Minority Report. The acting is all really, really bad in this. Like, I really wanted, like, this should have been like an Emily Blunt movie or something like that. She would have really given it some punch, and it kind of felt like a movie Michael Douglas would have pursued like 30 years ago. The movie has way too many rules, and it kind of makes it incomprehensible. And they play around with it, and I think it just makes it worse. I kept dozing off, honestly, because I don't think I really cared enough to really dig into what was going on. The movie is not really smart enough to be confusing while being engaging at the same time, and the twists are just ridiculous. There's some like the Truman Show in there. There's some Memento, some Inception, blah blah blah. I honestly didn't know that we were stepping into like a direct to streaming cager type of movie when I went to go see this. But yeah, it's a 1.5-star movie. It's probably Robert Rodriguez's worst movie, and it, unfortunately, probably is the nail in the coffin to the Alita Battle Angel sequel.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. I went with 2 stars, but I could be right there with 1.5 as well. What happened to Robert Rodriguez? I mean, Todd, you and I talked about this at one point. Like, what's our favorite Robert Rodriguez movies? And you go to, I mean, we talked Planet Terror. I'm a big fan of Desperado. But he had style. Like, he had like a specific style to him in the 90s and 2000s, and it feels like what I saw in this is there is no style to this. This feels like just a generic anybody could have made it movie. What is he doing now? There is nothing other than a random Michael Parks cameo at the end. There is nothing in this that says it is a Robert Rodriguez movie. Yeah, you said there's way too many rules, and the second they set them, they break them. It makes no sense. Like, there's so many holes if you even try to comprehend what's going on. I mean, maybe I do need to make it 1.5 stars, but it's not. It wasn't good. I was kind of disappointed. Like, the twists and turns are starting. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then, we're gonna just flip all the twists and turns on its head and twist and turn it a different direction. This is weird. I don't know. Zach?
Well, Robert Rodriguez is like he's doing the Book of Boba Fett, isn't that his show? Like, I mean, that's what he's been up to lately. But yeah, he's definitely changed since the 90s. That's for sure.
Yeah. There's no style to this anymore.
Yeah, my guess is that this was some sort of COVID production. I mean, it seems like a lot of this stuff is either green screened or has very few cast members in it. It's probably Robert Rodriguez and Ben Affleck hanging out in Austin saying like, yo, let's just put something together. Yeah, this movie's total garbage. Agree 100%. I'm not sure why we chose it. Yeah, this movie's pretty bad. I wrote down a cursory list of movies that this is ripping off. Number 1 is The Matrix. You have to say that the William Fichtner character is Agent Smith in The Matrix. It's just a blatant, naked ripoff of that whole concept. Now You See Me. The movie starts as Inception but ends as Shutter Island. I thought that was clever. The Prestige, my comment, not the movie. The Prestige, the bank robbery is reminiscent of the opening bank robbery in The Dark Knight. So really, this is just a laundry list of.
It even has Bill Fichtner in it.
And it has a thing where like the sky is falling down, which somehow has worse special effects in 2023 than it was in 2010. I think Christopher Nolan should sue this movie for libel. It's just a total blatant ripoff of that. It's got some Adjustment Bureau in it. It's got Edge of Tomorrow / Live Die Repeat in it. It's got Looper in it. It's got Firestarter in it. And the idea that the little girl is the one that they're trying to hide in the secret agency because of all their powers. Firestarter was better than this movie. It's got Paycheck in it. It's got Gone Baby Gone in it, and it's also got Jersey Girl in it because Ben Affleck with a young girl who's his daughter. I was missing George Carlin as the wisecracking Peter Boyle-esque grandfather. That role should have been there. This movie was awful. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I don't know why we reviewed it. We should have gone to the Blackberry movie. That would have been fun. Why didn't you think of that, Jay? 1 star. Terrible.
Wait, so I don't think Michael Parks is in the movie, Terry. I don't know what you're talking about. He's been dead for like 5 years.
No. Oh, then who was I talking about? Who's the guy at the end?
I don't know. Apparently Jackie Earle Haley's in this. I don't even think I remember that character.
Then you must have fallen asleep.
I remember him.
He's on screen for like 5 minutes. No, the guy from Planet Terror, that Best Barbecue in Texas. Who's that guy?
Kurt Russell.
No. Gosh dang it. I can't even find him on IMDb either. On the cast list. He's the
You're
guy
talking about the guy who's like the
foster dad. Yeah.
So is that Jeff Fahey?
Yeah, Jeff Fahey. I think that's him. Never mind. I thought it was Michael Parks. But he is a Robert Rodriguez regular. That's who I meant. That's what I meant.
There's not a whole lot to say about this movie except I would also say Ben Affleck's acting is pretty bad. It's like he's trying to do noir Spider-Man from Into the Spider-Verse, but Nicolas Cage did a better job of that. It's awful. Yeah. It represents everything I hate about movies.
It was Robert Rodriguez trying to do Philip K. Dick, and it just proves that no one can do it quite like him. Because you're right, it's Minority Report, it's Paycheck, it's Next, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this would have been a hit if it had come out 20 years ago. I mean, I think that there's no doubt that this would have been a big box office movie. But like I said before, it made less than $1 million on its opening day. Like, that's horrible for the main release.
I was in the theater with 2 other people that showed up at the last minute, but it was a 9:50 Friday night showing of Hypnotic. So,
yeah, terrible title too. I would have been intrigued by a movie that actually was good about people who have incredible powers of hypnosis. I guess we sort of had that in Now You See Me, which this movie is also ripping off. But like, I thought it was kind of interesting, the idea that some incredible Jedi-like force in real life could force.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like, Star Wars.
It was kind of another movie it's ripping off. Like, that idea was kind of interesting, but this movie is so dumb and so lazy and so incomprehensible and so shoddily made and acted that it's just dead on arrival. You kind of wish that someone maybe take it an A24 indie route, make it about or maybe do a Cage in Pig thing, maybe make it an underground world of hypnosis freaks or something, or maybe make it like a Ricky J. David Mamet thing or something. I don't know. Do anything better.
Yeah, there's a moment where they're crossing the border, and the border patrol is looking at them, and the lady leans over. And I was just waiting for her to say, "These aren't the droids you're looking for," and you can go about your business. Move along. Yeah. All right. We've wasted enough time on this. 2 stars for me, 1.5 from Todd, 1 from Zach. Go see Guardians. I mean, seriously, if you haven't already, I'm the only one on here.
See Book Club Goes to Rome.